Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Stache and Beard Show. I'm Austin Pistulka. That is Alan Pilley.
What's up, motherfuckers?
I almost pointed the wrong way again. This fucking thing. You saw the wheels turning.
Yeah, I did. I was like, he's gonna get it right. I feel he's gonna get it right.
Hey, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. Ah, goodness gracious. We're starting this segment off well.
That's something I would have done. That's why I just keep my fucking hands here.
I'm not Italian, but I feel Italian. I'm just constantly moving.
Dude, I swear to God, man, you take my hands away and I don't know how to talk. I have to use my hands.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. So yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the podcast, leave us a review, 5-star review. That helps us a ton. All right. So this segment, we want to start off. It's going to be a little bit of a somber note, but we learned recently of the passing of John Meadows. John Meadows was a fantastic influence in a lot of people's bodybuilding journeys, powerlifting journeys. He was a great mentor to many people, and he grew quite an audience on YouTube, especially befriending Juju Mufu, really grew his platform. And he really was, I watched a number of his videos, seemed like just a spectacular stand-up guy, and was definitely a huge loss to the fitness community. So rest in peace.
A lot of people looked up to him.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people from our gym, people who never met him, definitely looked up to him. So, but yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, you were telling me off air about a gal that you work with or work for, or write for. Words are hard.
But yeah, all of the above. But she was coached by him early on in her bodybuilding figure career.
Yeah,
and was gifted by her now fiance, but an opportunity to do a meet prep with him, like one-on-one. So not just following his teachings on like T Nation and stuff like this. This was actual one-on-one type of stuff. Wow. And that was a couple years back. She got that gift. So I know she, what he meant to her and how she looked up to him. And I was telling you also, between table talks and, when Elite FTS got real big on YouTube, a lot of Dave Tate's training with John Meadows, and just the sessions, how brutal they were. And, the shit talk that Dave Tate would talk about afterwards was always, I think, the most hilarious part. And I'm like, dude, you doing it to yourself and you coming back for more. It just shows you how sadistic we are. Like, this fucking sucks and I'll see you tomorrow, type of thing. But that was, I used to always love that banter from the two of them, when I would watch, their videos together. So,
absolutely. And they drove each other to be better. And so kind of what I wanted to do with this segment is talk about people. So John Meadows is an inspiration for a lot of people. And I wanted to just talk about who some of our inspirations are and who are those people in the gym that also push us in that same way that it seems like Dave Tate and John Meadows did. So, if you want, I'll go first. I'll get started.
Yeah. Who's your influencers, or who motivates you, pushes you?
So when it comes to people that I don't know, because there are a lot of people that I know that are really the people that are pushing me the most. I think about, not to blow smoke up your ass, but you're a person that influences me and motivates me to do better. Of course. Chad and, even the girls at the gym, I constantly have to be trying to beat Tiffany to feel okay. So obviously there are a lot of people that I know personally that push me to be better and all that sort of stuff. I mentioned him when talking about John Meadows, but Juju Mufu was kind of one of those YouTubers that first helped push me to do fitness things. I've only ever met him one time when he went to World's Strongest Man 2018, I think, when it was in Bradenton, Florida. I was there, and so I just shook his hand, said hi, big fan. But he really was a guy that his videos inspired me to just go for it. Just, why not? Try this, try that. And it was because he never stuck, like he stuck to things, but he was always finding something new in fitness that caught his eye. So like for a while he did arm wrestling, for a while he's doing bodybuilding now. He did powerlifting for a while, and it was always okay. He didn't get stuck in a lane. And that really, I mean, you write for me, and you know how often I change things around. So that's kind of the style that I have kind of picked up when it comes to my fitness career. Is I want to do fun things and I want to try out everything. And Juji was kind of that influencer that got me there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, as you were mentioning different individuals, I started thinking about different lines of work. So like when I first got into bodybuilding, like I remember the Flex magazines, and I don't know what it was, dude. Even back in the day, Jay Cutler, like everybody was about Lee Haney, Dorian, Ronnie, and I was always engrossed by Jay Cutler. And I think it was because of how many times he just took second place to Ronnie, and I was like, for some reason, it was something about him to keep coming back, working harder to try and knock the king off the throne. And so when I thought the stars aligned and the universe was talking, my first bodybuilding show, Jay Cutler was the guest poser. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's awesome.
Like, dude, I've got his video. I've got a drawer full of everything from my first show, but everything I could have Jay Cutler autograph. I just looked up to him in that regard of, you've heard me say it before, like second place fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Give me third place. If I'm not going to win, give me third place.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. Second place sucks. And to just see that dude come back so many times, so that was that. Strongman was always Marius. He had the physique. He had the strength. He wasn't the tallest, wasn't the biggest. He was just good at everything, not great at everything. So there really wasn't like a kink in his armor. Like I said, he wasn't the best at everything. He made sure he was good, well-rounded athlete.
See, so for me, for strongman, it was Martins Lisi's.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there's also a generation between you and I,
Yeah, there is. And it's funny because they're very similar in that aspect. They're not the tallest guy in the world. They're not the biggest guy. But they're very good at what they do, and they're very well-rounded. And the reason why I love Martins is because he's so charismatic. Like he's not. There are so many strongmen and powerlifters that they train, and that's their life, and it's not that they don't have a close group, but they don't draw you in necessarily. You know what I mean? Like there are plenty more now by all means, but like Brian Shaw, even on his YouTube videos, like seems like a nice enough guy, but he's got this thing, and that's his thing. Martins is that, but with charisma. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to put down anyone by any means, but but I'm drawn to him in a way that I'm not drawn to other people. Like Eddie, drawn to Eddie, like super charismatic, super intense.
Never gave a shit about Eddie.
Really?
No, I was never an Eddie fan. I like Half Thor, but I wasn't like, let me give him a piggyback. Shaw, I was like, okay, they were all great athletes, but I wasn't like, oh my God, like, like those it was even Zadrunas, Big Z. Yeah. I liked him, but I wasn't like, I was always pulling for Marius.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about him,
Yeah, absolutely. Did you hear? Is it Marius that is? So there was the fight that was going to happen between Eddie Hall and Half Thor, the boxing match.
One of them backed out. I think Eddie, because he tore his bicep on a punch.
Yeah, he threw a punch, and like he just got his bicep like reattached. Yeah. And I think I saw Marius was talking about he was going to fill in, because he's done MMA for a while.
I want to say at least 5 years.
Yeah.
He's got some wins and losses the way everybody does, but he's just a fucking force, even in the octagon.
I wonder if anything came of that. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, I've watched on various, YouTube videos and stuff, but even watching his MMA career.
Yeah. All right. Mariusz Pudzianowski.
I'm even trying to think, man. Even boxing. Boxing, I don't even know. Like, I was never like a fighter, so I always liked Tyson, but he didn't inspire me to go. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't inspire me to go jump rope or run in the morning, those type of things. Powerlifting, believe it or not, like, this might be weird, but it was Jim Windler and Chad Wesley Smith.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know those names.
No, so 531 and Juggernaut.
Okay.
And I guess because at the time I was big into Westside, like you've heard me say countless times, but like the name that stuck out the most for me at that time was also because of the Elite FTS videos and pamphlets and T Nation. Jim Windler, for some reason, just rang out to me, and I was like, I wanted to go be like him. He had a type of physique. The way he talked, I don't know. I've heard things about the way he talks was different than the way he trained, type of thing. So who knows?
Sure.
A lot of people put out programs and not follow their own shit. So I don't know, man. But yeah. Jim Windler, 531, rang out to me quite a bit. And then when I got into, the raw side, something about Chad Wesley, even though he hated Westside, there was something about him that I just loved, from the way he ran his business, the way he coached, And then he would make his digs about Westside. I'm like, oh, you didn't have to say it. But it was like, at that point, I watched so much Chad Wesley Smith, it's like I knew him. Yeah. So I was like, why are you talking shit about Westside? And I had never been to Westside. I'd never met any of these dudes,
Yeah.
And I think as far as inspiration for gear, dude, I'm gonna have to go Chuck Vogelpohl.
Yeah.
If we got to pick an older school guy, there's just something about him, dude. The intensity, the training, the work. There's just something about it. So I'd have to pick those three as far as powerlifting goes.
For sure. I looked it up. The Mariusz Hafthor fight, not happening. Mariusz just called him out on Instagram. That was it. That was the whole thing.
Hafthor he'd be stupid.
Yeah.
He's giving up. God, Hafthor's 6'10", 6'8",
Yeah.
6'10". He's going to give up height. Mariusz would be a bull.
Yes. And he's got so much more experience in a fighting ring.
And I'm not going to say by any means that he's a world-renowned ground and pound guy, but he's got strength down on the ground.
Yeah.
It would be insane to see.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to see. It would be great, though, because on that card is Steffi Cohen. A lot of people are disappointed because Steffi Cohen is going to be on that card, too. And so they really were.
The video of her. She didn't do terrible.
So, but this is the one that's coming up in September.
Yeah.
So
but her last, I think, fight was her first pro fight. And she didn't do horrible. She actually looked decent. And so I don't know her background either. I don't know how long she was doing things. You get some guys that come out in that first fight, they've only had 3 months of training, and you can tell. Yeah. She looked like she'd been training for quite some time,
I've seen her Instagram, and I think it's been up for like 4 or 5 months, something like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's Steffi Cohen, incredible. Another person that is like a bit of an influence for me, just because she's like, I don't know what the right way of putting it is. Her intensity is just so cool. There are some people who are intense and are assholes. Steffi Cohen isn't that.
You as soon as you mentioned, you said something that triggered me. Because I said for fighting, there's really nobody, but I'm going to take that back, and that's Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Physique, multi-sport athlete. The fact that the dude came over, everybody talked shit saying he wasn't going to amount to nothing. Lost his first fight to Frank Mir, but he had another underground fight before UFC, and he won that one. Yeah. But then he comes back. He takes the belt, and unfortunate with his diverticulitis, but his physique. And the fact that, he wanted it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And went after it, became champion, held the belt, and then, he bowed out, went back to wrestling.
And became one of the highest paid wrestlers of all time.
Yeah. But like what I remember, that's what it was when you talking about Steffi. So, you get these athletes, man, that, football players are like, oh, this football, he can't box. We don't know about. But he can pick it up a lot quicker, say, than maybe you and I, because of his athletic background. Usain Bolt, they joked around, playing soccer, being wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he ain't going to pick it up. He's never caught a ball in his life. Yeah, but I bet he could learn because of his skill sets.
Right.
And so to see somebody like Brock going from being a 2 or 3 time national champion wrestler to going to, wrestling real, I'll call it fake wrestling, but you're wrestling. You got to be athletic in that. And then football, he tried out for the Vikings. Like, I don't know what people didn't think he'd be able to do. Like, his hand game, okay, may have been one of his weakest things. So he works on that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Past that, motherfucker's going to take you to there. So I think what I was getting at was when you said Steffi was, you have these athletes that have come from other things and pick these sports up much quicker because of their backgrounds,
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, just retract that. And I'm going to go with Brock as far as the wrestling fighting world. Because, if anything, it was like, if Brock can do it, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like one of those things like when I watched his fight against Frank Mir, I didn't put my beer down and be like, training starts now. I was just like, if anything, I was like, God damn, he's enormous. Back to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So like those type of things.
Yeah. Yeah. In the same vein, pro wrestling, Lance Storm. I don't think that's a name you necessarily would know.
Only from you. You said it a couple weeks ago. Right.
So Lance Storm, if you look him up on the internet, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's Austin kind of. I get told I look like Lance Storm if I were to shave the mustache. Before I had the mustache, people said I looked like a fat Lance Storm. But he the way he handles himself on Instagram, on podcasts, on in the wrestling business, he is the most. You see it now.
And this is fucked up. Only because you said fat Lance Storm. This is so bad because I look at this photo and I'm like, no. And then I was like, but all right, fat Lance Storm, he's right. That's why I was like, man, that's fucked up. But like, I could see him, or I could see you, no mustache, the haircut, and I could see it.
Yeah, I trimmed down to 210. I could be Lance Storm.
I'll see if anybody can see that.
Yes, there it is.
Dude, yep. Like I can see that.
Yeah.
40 pounds on that face. I don't know. Like, I'm terrible at that.
You're probably right. About 40. I don't know what he weighed. He was a smaller guy. Smaller-ish. He was like probably 220, 230 when he wrestled. He's
5'11", smaller guy at 230. That's funny hearing that because in powerlifting when we think smaller guys, we think 165, 181.
Yeah.
Those type of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5'11". I'm trying to pull up his weight for you.
Yeah.
231 pounds.
Yeah, that's what he was billed at.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was bigger. The reason why I say he was one of the smaller guys was because he was bigger than a cruiserweight. So he was over 205 pounds. But he wasn't like a monster. He wasn't like a super tall guy. He wasn't super jacked. Like good physique. Don't get me wrong. Like he takes
no homo. He's a good looking dude.
Absolutely. He takes it. He tells a story. He had a podcast a while ago called Killing the Town. And he would talk about how he was a Cracker Barrel aficionado and the way he ordered his meals every single time was, I would like a 12 egg white omelet, no butter, as dry as possible, turkey, and I would like white toast, no butter, dry as possible. And that was his meal because he was so, and the reason why I look up to him is because he's so dedicated to his craft. He has run a wrestling school up in Canada. Yeah,
he's from Calgary.
Yep. But the way that people talk about him is he's a great dude that they love to be around, and he's fantastic at what he does, and that's what I want to strive for.
Yeah. No, that's that dude right there. I mean, coming this whole segment's been about inspirations. That sounds like somebody to look up to. That'd be a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's a segment if I've ever heard a segment.
No, that was a good one.
Finishing up once again, John Meadows. Our hearts go out to friends and family of John Meadows. Thank you for being a great influence on the world that Alan and I live in, and we wish everyone who is impacted by his death the best for sure. Absolutely. This is the Stache and Beard Show. We'll be back with another segment right after this.